Alright, so here today we got something pretty cool. We had seen some early testing over here for LUOCHA, and apparently one of the tier lists did get updated, and it gives us an idea of how good and where they're placing LUOCHA as of right now. Today, I'm pretty sure you want to see that. Let's jump into this. If you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. Helps out a ton. Let's jump into it, and let's check it out. So hopping over here, we do have the tier list. We have also the way to sort it. We'll sort it under general for now, but it looks like over here on 6/14, there was one update, and then over here on the 6/28, which is basically today, or technically tomorrow, we have the next update giving us the idea of, yes, this is what has changed. LUOCHA has been added to the tier list. We'll go over this also, which is pretty cool. I'll talk about that in a second here. But yes, LUOCHA has already been placed over here at S+ for the defensive support category. Obviously not going to bypass Bailu and Japard. They are very good characters till this time, and they are like genuinely carries in MOC and other stuff like that. So for what it is, obviously she won't, or rather he won't kind of compete in that capacity, but it's on the same tier, right? They're very powerful characters, all three of them, so they exist on S+ tier, and that's how it's going to work, correct? So for defensive support, that's where LUOCHA is currently placed. We also had some changes over here. Himiko made a jump up over here to A tier, and also this character that I still can't pronounce for the life of me did make it over here to A. Over here, Pella has been to S, which I've been saying, you know, I've been the great advisor for Pella being a better character, so absolute W for Pride here, moving that up. And you know, she has seen a lot of play, and she has gotten very good as a character after testing and stuff like that. So I will read through that in a second here, but I do want to go through and read LUOCHA, his pros and cons, and what they've tested on him and kind of come up with. The mysterious man carrying a coffin on his back and bearing a striking resemblance to a certain Raksha. Yeah, Raksha? I might have butchered that, but regardless of the burdens he carries, LUOCHA is undoubtedly an exceptional healer and even has the ability to dispel enemy buffs and contribute toughness damage. LUOCHA in particular excels at a type of healing different from that of either both Natasha or Bailu. Nat has her talent increasing outgoing healing against low HP allies and has the regen attached to her skill, and Bailu has the instant on receiving damage reactive healing from her invigoration. LUOCHA offers an alternative to this in the form of lifesteal. Okay, it's not technically lifesteal, but it's what I'll be referring to it as. LUOCHA's talent operates on a stack-based system, gaining 1 stack of Abyss Flower whenever he uses a skill or ultimate. When he gets 2 stacks of Abyss Flower, he'll automatically deploy a field against the enemy for 2 turns. An ally who launches an attack basically will be healed based on LUOCHA's attack. That's how it kind of works. It's important to note here that LUOCHA is unlike these two healers because basically he scales off attack rather than HP, which is huge, and which is why kind of some of the cons have been coming through, because he's very squishy. This may lead you to think he deals more damage as well, which is true, but it's not so impressive that it becomes a significant percentage of your team's damage, and it is, if it is, you have bigger problems, right? So that is there. I can show the full review over here, but that is a lot of reading. Holy hell. Yeah, we don't need this, but basically you kind of have the idea here. He's a little squishy because, yes, he scales off attack, which is mentioned right here in the cons. Attack scaling means he will be less durable than the other two healers. So yes, people have been seeing that he kind of gets a little slapped up, but you know, he has lifesteal. He has that ability. He has passive healing, which is good for a lot of characters. So he still kind of has the pros. Right here, excellent healing output that is easy to maintain. Not that hard. It kind of procs pretty fast, so it is good. AoE Dispel on his ultimate is also very good. Contributes meaningful toughness damage, which again is pretty solid. Virtually immune to crowd control, which is again, for this game, it's kind of a big deal. So for what that is existing on his kit, and being pretty and him being pretty solid at it, kind of understand that's what it is. Fantastic base stats, which I didn't know that, but outstanding. Unlikely to get power crept soon, because again, there's probably, you're not getting a healer for a little bit. We're speculating a 4-star healer at some point, but you kind of won't see one for a while. So obviously a character that's a support will always outdo a DPS character, because sometimes DPS falls off while new DPS get thrown in, but support characters, they usually last, to be honest with you. So there is that. But again, on the con side of things, the value in lower, or is lower in the early game, kind of, I see that. Doesn't have an on-demand panic heal, so sometimes if you're really low and you need to force that heal quickly, it's not going to happen, right? It's a heal that's procced based off the Abyss Flower and more lifesteal, and if it's down below 50, then it procs, but if it's already procced, well, GG. So that is there. Talent is only useful in if the team can attack in time, which is there. Attack scaling, again, as mentioned, so his, he is a little bit less durable. Like, more so a little bit off, right? This is also here. LUOCHA's Eidolons are unnecessary for him to excel as a healer, but provide benefits, turn him into a healer support hybrid, able to increase allies' attack by, 20% at E1, gaining bonus healing and a shield on his skill for E2, weakening enemies with E4, and reducing enemies' all type resistance at E6. Again, who's actually reaching that point other than Belugas, but that is pretty cool to kind of know. You need to be prepared to actually heal with LUOCHA on occasion. This isn't a big deal in practice because you're going against the skill. LUOCHA's bonus traces actually alleviate some of the concerns in a fair bit and elevate his performance farther. If you want to go and read this, it's all on the Pride site to give you some sort of an idea on the full review. But I have seen a lot of talk about him, and people are placing him very high. He's a very good support healer. He is really good. Obviously not on par with Bailu and Gepard, just because Bailu has more so a panic heal. That's like the biggest thing. And Gepard has such survivability that he's just crazy. But LUOCHA is really good, and for future-proof content in a way, he will last. You have Blade, you have other characters that will be bleeding, and passive heals may more so be better than heals that are on demand, because what are you going to do? Keep on demand healing, using up skill points, gobbling them up, when, you know, you kind of need them to use or be used on those DPS characters. So for what it is, that kind of makes sense here, but also on the changelog, I'm curious here. Pella has gone up. With the release of free-to-play Silverwolf Light Code, Pella is so much stronger now. Not only can she cycle faster, thus keeping the enemies debuffed at all time, but the current MOC Tribulation fits her really well. If you don't have Silverwolf, you're basically forced to run Pella on some stages. Himiko is slowly climbing up the ranking with each tier list update, and it's deserved. She performs really good, I think I meant to say, in the current MOC, and more of those who pulled her are using her now, though she still requires quite a bit of investment to work as a main carry. We have this character here, I'm sorry I still can't pronounce it, but she's moved up to A from B. Over here, Welsh is a similar case to Himiko. There has been a big spike in her usage rate, and a warranted one. She's a great partner to Silverwolf if you lack Zila, and the only thing stopping her from sitting in the S tier is the fact that the tier list still rates her at E2. If you have her at E4 or E6, she can compete with the best. But again, getting E4, E6 may be difficult, so hence that's why it's kind of there. She also a change here. Clara has been moved to the DPS column to defensive support column. While her damage output is great, a lot of players use her as a dedicated tank in their Yanqing teams instead of Gepard. And since Yanqing teams revolve around freeze, her damage falls off there as most of it comes from counters. So keep that in mind. That's what it looks like over here. But I mean, for what it is, I mean, yeah, I kind of agree. LUOCHA is placed right there for what he is, a defensive support. He is very powerful. He's really strong. Simple as that. And a lot of the pros for him exist. There are cons, right? Every character comes with cons. It's not going to stop that. But for what it is, I still think it's a really good character. It's going to be a great support. It's going to help you out. If you don't have Bailu, Gepard, or maybe any other character of that sort, he's good, and he's going to fit the bill and fit the role and help you out. So if you want to pull for him, just wanted to share this with you. That's currently where Pridewin is rating him, putting him in S+ tier. Up to you though, but just want to share that with you so you are aware before you pull, and if you were planning on pulling. So there you go. Have fun. Take care.